Disinfection of drinking water is required to kill microbial pathogens, but disinfectants like chlorine can react with naturally occurring materials in the water to form byproducts such as trihalomethanes and haloacetic acids. These disinfection byproducts, or DBPs, can lead to health risks if consumed in excess of federal standards over many years. To limit exposure to these byproducts and protect public health, EPA developed the DBP rule, which not only limits the amount of chlorine added to drinking water, but requires utilities to meet a specific TOC removal and monitor quarterly within the distribution system for DBPs. ARAB WaterWorks delivers 6 million gallons of water a day to 12,000 customers in ARAB, Alabama. To meet TOC removal goals, the WaterWorks found it had to add a large amount of chlorine and alum to its system. The chlorine, however, reacted with organics in the source water, creating a DBP problem for the utility.
We were having to feed too much chlorine, and our system was so large that, as far as producing good water quality, we wouldn't be able to meet the new regs.
ARAB decided it would be a leader in the state and began addressing its disinfection byproduct concerns in 2008. Disinfection byproducts can be controlled by reducing the amount of disinfectant you're using or by reducing the organics from the source water, or both. ARAB WaterWorks chose to control DBPs by removing organics from their source water, which would lower the chlorine required for disinfection.
WaterWorks had several options. We looked at membranes, we considered GAC.
But after piloting a magnetic ion exchange system, ARAB decided that this was the best solution for them. Key to the process is the MIEX resin, very small ion exchange beads with a high affinity for organic matter. Each bead has a magnetic component that allows the fine particles to settle out quickly, taking the organic matter with it.
The MIEX process removes a lot of the organics out of the water. Therefore, if you have less organics, you use less chemical and removing the organics.
So rather than using chlorine to burn out the color or reduce the organics, you're simply using chlorine for the purpose that it was meant for, which is as a disinfectant to kill the microbiological organisms in the water.
When raw water comes into the plant, it flows into a contactor where it's continuously mixed. This disperses the resin particles to provide a high surface area for ion exchange to occur. From there, the water flows into a flume that feeds into a settler. The small resin beads magnetically attract to one another, agglomerating and settling to the bottom where they're recirculated back to the contactor for reuse. Clean water runs into a weir and is gravity fed to the plant where it undergoes the rest of the treatment process.
So we have two separate processes that we use in North America. The dual stage process like we have here in ARAB WaterWorks, and a high rate process that we've introduced since then. Really, the second process is to save footprint. The high rate process, which was the second process that we introduced in the United States, basically stacks the dual stage process on top of each other. So instead of having a separate mixer and a settler, we put the settling zone on top of the mixer.
One of the interesting features of the system is the fact that the treatment capacity of the resin can be restored or regenerated, enabling it to be used again and again.
We can recover the resin and regenerate it with varying salts, either sodium chloride or sodium bicarbonate, and reuse it in the process.
During the process, we generally take about 5% of the resin and have it regenerated, sent back up here to be reused. This is an ongoing process. It never stops. It runs 24/7. It's totally automated.
After the MIEX process has been up and running, we determined that the discharge could be sent through a drying bed, mixed and diluted with our water treatment plant discharge water, and still be in compliance with the discharge permit. As far as compliance issues right now, we don't have any. Our DBP problems is pretty much solved. Our trihalomethanes or levels are about 39 parts per billion. Haloacetic acids are around 19, so we're well below the 80-60 rule that comes up in 2012.
The MIEX process is rated based on contact time, how long the water is in contact with the resin, and rise rate, how much water you're pushing through the process.
Those numbers have a large degree of flexibility in them. The nice thing about MIEX is because you have this large range, if you build a plant like we have here at ARAB and it's rated for 6 million gallons a day, and you find 5 years down the road that you need another 3 or 4 million gallons a day because you have the opportunity to sell water to another city, you can look at your system and just increase the amount of water that you flow through it without building additional capital.
With the MIEX process, we can push more water through the process without expanding our plant. May result in a little more resin loss, but it's still cheaper than expanding the plant.
Because Orica Water Care is the only manufacturer of magnetic ion exchange resin, it's a proprietary product. This can be a little worrisome for plant owners concerned about their long-term operating costs.
What we have found is that in having a long-term relationship with a client, we're able to hold their pricing in place. Most of our customers, not all, but most of them have long-term supply contracts in place so that they can be guaranteed what their operating costs are going to be. Many of our customers who adopted granular activated carbon, which is a non-proprietary product, are paying as much as 10 times as much for carbon on the open market, whereas all of our clients have a contract that's tied to the consumer price index. So the concerns that our clients had in the beginning have turned out to be all in their benefit. The agreement that we have with ARAB was created specifically for them.
With the agreement that the Waterworks and Orica Water Care have, we really don't purchase resin. We have an agreement with them to where we pay per 1,000 gallons of water that's pre-treated.
That way they had a set operational cost. They knew how much water they would flow through the plant. We have a master meter just like they use for their customers, and we just invoice them based on the amount of gallons that they treat. So they knew what their operational costs were going to be. When they need resin, they call and order resin.
The technical support for Orica is very good, very knowledgeable with any issues that may come up. Ordering resin is very easy. You just pick the phone up, place an order, and it's here within a week.
One of the things that I like the best about this product is that we get to build long-term relationships with our customers. We work with them on a monthly basis. We're always calling them to see how are they doing. Do they have enough resin? How is their system operating?
After having the MIEX in operation for about 3 years, working relationship with Orica and the Waterworks is very good. They address issues very quickly, promptly. Anything that we may need, they respond to us very well.
We know our customers at ARAB Waterworks. We know our customers at the Village of Palm Springs. We know them all by name, and everybody in our plant knows them by name. And it's a really nice way to have a business.